So that brings us to our main event, in which Jeff Jarrett faced Chris Harris in a non-title match. The point being to emphasize that Chris Harris is a challenger on Jeff Jarrett's level, I guess. The whole story of the match was there was a ref bump where Rudy was taken out with a crossbody. Jarrett hit the stroke. He got a visual pin. Then Rudy came back through. Kid Cash helped the Rudy come back through. Harris kicked out. Harris hit a catatonic on Cash. Told Rudy if he counted the 3, he'd be fired. Rudy refused to count.
Okay, you really jumbled up that last sentence. Harris hit a catatonic on Jarrett.
Shut up!
But Cash told Rudy if he counted 3, he'd be fired.
Harris hit a catatonic on Jarrett, but if Cash told Rudy if he counted the 3... Stop, please. Harris hit a catatonic on Jarrett. You're not a nice person.
If you didn't mess it up again, I wouldn't laugh so hard.
Harris hit a catatonic on Jarrett. God damn it.
You're doing your head now.
No, I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the show. Harris hit a catatonic on Jarrett, and then he went for the pin. And then Cash popped up in the apron and said, Rudy, if you count the 3, I'll fire you. And Rudy didn't count. Harris hit a leg drop on Jarrett. Same thing. Rudy didn't count again. Jarrett hits Harris with the title in front of Rudy. Demands Rudy count regardless. Rudy counts down Jarrett. God. Just gonna die. I'm just gonna die.
You have to leave all this in.
Just gonna die.
I just wanted to mention that the catatonic looked great.
You should have beat him with it.
Yeah, but what happened though, Garrett?
Jarrett hit Harris with the title in front of Rudy. Rudy is like, should I DQ him? Jarrett's like, no, you won't. You'll count. And then Rudy counted. Jarrett beat Harris with the title shot, reaffirming the idea, I guess. It annoys me that they did the visual pin, frankly.
Yeah, they didn't need to, because the whole thing was... Like, you had the whole thing in the thing, and Jarrett wins in the end anyway, so there's no point to doing the visual pin. I did like that this was the payoff to, like, Jarrett's abuse of power, because we're getting the Director of Authority immediately after. So I liked that timing of, like, of course Jarrett would get away with this once. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense like that.
But doing the visual pin is just, it's stupid. The whole idea of this match is that Harris is better than Jarrett, but they couldn't tell that story without letting you know that Jarrett would have beaten him first.
Yeah.
Stupid. So Chris Harris has a series of matches, but he only has one at first. He faces Chase Stevens of the Naturals to get revenge for what they did to James Storm, putting James Storm on the shelf. So Chris Harris beats Chase Stevens with a catatonic, all well and good, until Russo sends Andrew Thomas out there to insist that Chris Harris will now face Andy Douglas immediately in another match. Harris wins that match too with a roll-up. Russo comes out a third time and orders Harris to face both of the Naturals. James Storm confronts Russo on the ramp. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And Russo's like, no, bro, trust me, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't seem, fair.
Yeah, so the whole idea here is that, you know, Vince Russo says he's a changed man. Vince Russo says he's decent now. He's doing what's right for TNA. But here he is booking Chris Harris in a series of 3 matches, ending in a handicap match after he had already wrestled twice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
So Andy Douglas tries to use a chair, which distracts the referee. Chase Stevens also grabs the chair, runs into the ring, and then James Storm super kicks the chair into his face, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, everything about it. And it's because, like, he can't really, like, use his arm to do, like, any sort of balance, so he just kind of throws his foot as hard as he can.
Yeah, because I should have mentioned, he does have his shoulder in a sling because he's injured, and he just propels himself through the air, foot first, to super kick this chair into Chase Stevens, which allows Harris to pick up the win to beat the Naturals in a handicap match.
Even Don West is like, well, he's not going to kick out of that one.
Yeah, and Mike today, like, marking out, he's like, what a super kick!
Yeah, it was great.
So, kind of a birth of the Naturals, where Chris Harris beat them in singles matches and beat them in a tag match, but listen, it's not about the Naturals right now.
I was going to say also the Naturals are losers, so it's fine.
Yeah, so Scott Hudson interviews Vince Russo backstage about what he just did to Chris Harris. Harris confronts Russo. He's like, what the hell, dude? You said you're changed. You booked me in matches. But then Russo says, you're not ready for a world title shot, but you will get the match on March 17th. And by the time we get there, you will be ready. So the whole idea here is that Russo is trying to sharpen up Chris Harris to get him ready for a title shot against Jarrett.
Because he'd rather Chris Harris be champion than either Jarrett or Raven.
Russo at one stage here says, "You will hate me in the next 21 days," and you can just hear a guy in the crowd shout at the top of his lungs, "We already hate you, Russo!"
Just a guy that everyone loves.
Yeah, it's because it reminds me of that time when Disco said, "Do you think I'm stupid?" And everyone said yes, and then you just hear the one lady in the crowd shouting, "Hell yeah!"
No, she said shell, yeah. She was hoping for Shark
Of course, yes, Shark Boy. Who I think is actually friends with Disco, unfortunately.
Who isn't?
She does take Shark Boy down a peg in my rankings of human beings, just being friends with Disco.
And his Elon Musk tweets.
Ugh. Shark Boy, just tweet about shark things like clam juice and eating kelp.
Those are not shark things. Neither of those is a shark thing.
Name me a shark thing, Liam. Terrorizing beaches?
Yeah, eating fish.
Lots of other things eat fish too. Eating fish is a human thing.
Not for me, it isn't.
Do you not like fish?
I'll never eat a fish. Not in my life. Not once.
You're not a fish guy?
No.
Hatred of fish?
Yeah.
It's very fishy of you not to like fish.
That was bad. That was a bad joke.
That wasn't a joke. It was wordplay.
Barely.
Which is like jokes, except they're not funny.
But worse.
And they make you feel smart about yourself.
It's like wordplay's like jokes, except like not good.
It's the intellectual joke in that it's not funny, but it seems smart.
Does it? I don't think you saying it's fishy that I don't like fish would be deemed by anyone to be smart.
I think it's very intelligent discourse that our listeners will appreciate a great deal.